Okay guys, welcome to another video. In today's video, we're just going to unbox this new generator we picked up. It's called the Pulsar GD400BN. It's a dual fuel 4000 watt inverter generator. And the reason I wanted to do an unboxing was, one, there's not any videos on YouTube showing this generator. And also, I have a propane tank. And once we unbox it and fill it with oil, in the kind of one cut, I wanted to start it only off propane, not gas, and see how easy it is to start. The main reason a lot of people don't like dual fuel generators is they say it's a lot harder to start on propane compared to gas, but there's a lot of advantages to propane over gas. Mainly, propane doesn't go bad, and gas, especially in high heat, doesn't last that long. Even if you get the ethanol free, gas, it costs a lot more than standard gas. So opening the box, on my way home I actually bought some synthetic oil, because I wasn't sure if it came with oil, but it comes with oil. It comes with a plug adapter of sorts. We'll look into instructions to see what that's for. I think this is a funnel for either the oil or the gas. That comes with a screwdriver, and the tools that come with these generators are generally, you can find them at the dollar store or Harbor Freight. They're not the highest quality. And I think this is maybe for the spark plug and a screwdriver. This is the propane hose and regulator. So just what you'd see on like a gas grill. And that side goes, this side goes to the tank, this side goes to the generator. That's the instruction manual. And this is the generator. And this is my first time seeing it too. I've never seen this sold in stores, but it's a pretty nice looking unit. Really quick why I bought this unit. I was dead set on getting a Champion dual fuel, and I was debating between the 2500 watt generator dual fuel or the 3500 watt. The 3500 watt is about 100 pounds, so it's kind of hard to move. And then the 2500 watt, I wasn't sure if that would be too small. And the cool thing about this product, and why I'm surprised it's not more popular, is it's the same exact profile of most of your 2000 watt generators, but it actually has 4000 watts of output. And in the past I had the Predator 3500, which I did a couple videos on. They sell it at Harbor Freight, and that's a really good unit. I ended up selling it. It was kind of bulky and a little heavy, but it was really quiet. But it was only gas powered, not dual fuel, and you could buy kits to convert it. But I ended up selling it, and when I wanted to buy a new one, I figured it's better just to buy a dual fuel already set up, ready to go. So I'm sure a lot of this is common sense. This is for the propane hose. It only has one 120 volt outlet, but it's a 20 amp plug. This is your, I think it's called a NEMA L5. This is the same plug the Predator 3500 has, and a lot of small campers will have that plug. And you can buy cords that go into this, and on the other end of the cord you have your standard outlets. And you can buy extension cords. These are for like battery charging. This is your circuit breaker. This is your circuit breaker for this outlet. This is your off and start switch. This is your eco mode, or they call it low idle. These lights, one is a low oil light. So I was reading, if it senses it has low oil, it'll shut the unit off. So there's a sensor in there which protects the unit in case you forget to fill it with oil. The middle light is if you're overloading it, meaning if you're drawing too much power, it'll shut down. And then output, I guess we'll see. I think whenever you're drawing power out, this light stays on. And then your fuel source, you toggle between gas and propane. On this side, that looks like an access panel. This is where you add oil. So before we get too far, and before I forget, I'll add oil really quick. Bear with me. Okay, so I was going to not film this part, and then she recommended maybe to film it just to show you guys in real time, if you were to purchase this, how easy it is to fill with oil. It came with this nozzle, and it turns out this side's threaded, and that's the oil fill cap. So this just threads on like this. And it's like a screw-on funnel. Now, on my way home, I got some 10W30 synthetic oil because I wasn't sure if it came with oil, and it did come with oil. And it recommends to put 12 ounces in, and this is 15 ounce. So I'm just going to guesstimate. I'm going to pour most of it. And most generators, once it kind of overflows, that's your, it's full. Or a lot of small engines are like that. So, and I'm behind the camera, or I'm behind the unit, otherwise maybe it won't be as cumbersome, but let's see how easy it is. I'll throw some cardboard down in case we spill, which we will. So there's probably about 3 ounces left. It said to put 12 ounces in. So we'll take this nozzle off. Put this back in. I'm sure it tells you in the instruction manual, some generators have another port to change the oil, and some of these small generators, you just open that up and tip it on its side to drain the oil out. So I guess we'll find out in the instruction manual. But I'll just pull this dipstick out and see if that's enough oil. Yeah, it looks like it. And it looks like when you add the proper amount, it'll just barely peek through. So you can, if you're precise, you can measure it exactly, or you can just guesstimate. So that's the oil. I guess this is the air filter. And most of this that I'm showing is pretty standard on most generators of this type. So if you've owned a Honda or a Yamaha or a Champion, they're all pretty similar. I should note the plastic on this compared to the Predator, it seems a lot more durable. The Predator 3500 generator, the plastic seemed a little chintzy. This has a nicer feel to it. Here's another port that's bungeed, and that's the spark plug down there. And then on this side you have your starter, and that's about it. So 4000 is your starting watts, meaning when like electric motors start up, they produce a lot more energy and then they die down. And then on gasoline you can run up to 3200 watts, and then on propane you have 3700 starting watts and you can run up to 3000. And then you have some stats up here, which compared to other generators that I've seen, it looks like this is useful information. I'm reading it upside down, so I don't know exactly what it says, but it's just telling you the RPMs, it looks like, and the power with gas and propane. There's a quick start. Let's see, there's a quick start for people that don't like to read the instructions. Quick start, add oil, check fuel, connect LP, turn low idle off. And then quick start, starting a hot engine. Okay, so let's just do this in one take. It looks like you attach this to your propane tank. If you've ever used a gas grill before, or propane appliances, it's pretty simple. And then this hose screws on, and sometimes these are right-handed threads. And some of these dual fuel generators, like the Champion, they use a quick disconnect. I wasn't sure what this one would come with, and the fact that it's threaded on, there's pros and cons to both, but it being threaded on might be better if you're running this at like a campground or you have kids running around, and if they were to trip on this, that quick connect might rip out of there, and this being threaded on, this will just trip your kid, but it'll stay connected. So that's pretty cool. So like I said, we haven't started this yet. Low idle, you switch off. Fuel source, you hit propane. This you turn to start. Check that everything's tight, and what it sounds like is you open the gas valve on your propane. And I'll set this down here. So it has oil and it's never been started before. So let's see how easy it is.
Huh? 32.
So what are we at, like 40?
35. Pause.
So we're like 35 pulls, low idle off, connected, gas is turned on. So I think we're following all the instructions. Okay, so far we're at like 35 to 45 pulls, and we paused the camera for a second. I just wanted to read through the instructions to make sure. And what it says is you connect the hose, turn the propane on, turn this to choke, low idle's off, and we are on propane. And I have heard that a lot of these small generators that run on these tanks, they're kind of a pain to start. So I've also heard some people, they say to pull it slow like 10 times, and that pulls the air out of the system. And it could be that the first time is hard to start. And for kicks, I'm going to switch it to run, because I've heard some of these generators, they say the choke only applies if you're using gas, not propane. Okay, so after like 40 pulls, I switched it to run from choke, and it started on the first pull, and I killed it. So I'm going to switch it to run again and see if it starts on the first pull. If that's the case, then if you buy this unit, put it in run and then pull the cord, and it might save you some time. Okay, so as you can see, I moved it off the concrete. It's still pretty loud. I would say it's a little bit louder than my Predator 3500. There was some issues starting it. So if you buy this and you want to run propane, before pulling the cord like 40 or 50 times, and instead of following the instructions, just put the dial to run and not to choke. And once I did that and pulled the cord, not even that hard, the first pull it started right up. And then I turned it off, turned it back on to run, pulled it once and it started up. So if you buy this generator, that might be good to know. The noise on it, like I said, is a little bit louder than the Predator 3500. Let me just kill it quick. So the noise on it is a little bit louder than the 3500. The disadvantages of it, according to some people, is it only has a 1 gallon gas tank, which is both a pro and a con. It's a con because it only runs for about 4 hours, but that's only on 1 gallon of gas. So it's still as fuel efficient as similar generators. It just has less gas to burn. But the advantage of that is it lets them make a really compact unit. Another downside is it doesn't have an electric start like the Predator. I found on the Predator 3500 the electric start wasn't that good of an advantage if you're not running it all the time. If you're an RVer using it every weekend, then that battery will stay charged. But if you're only starting it up like once a year or once every couple months, the battery would always be dead for me, so I'd have to start it anyways. So if this is something that you're not really using that often, you could probably skip the electric start. So by this not having an electric start, it eliminates the starter, it eliminates a battery, and it has a smaller fuel tank, which just takes up less space. And a couple other downsides or things to keep in mind: it only has one standard plug. But like I said, you can buy a multi-port, but a lot of these small generators have 2 standard plugs, but they don't have this plug. And probably the last downside compared to larger generators is it doesn't have a display. The Predator 3500 and all of its competitors have an hour meter, and it tells you how many watts you're drawing from the generator. It tells you how many volts it's running at, and it keeps track of how many hours are on the machine, which is useful when it comes to maintenance, because these generators, you're supposed to change the oil after so many hours. So with this, that is kind of a downside, but there's probably workarounds, like you could maybe glue some type of like stopwatch or something like that, or you could put a mark every time you refill it with gas, and if you know it runs roughly every 4 hours, you could keep track that way. But the reason I picked this one up is it only weighs 40 pounds, or about 45 pounds, which is half, if not more, the weight of the Predator 3500, but its output is identical to the Predator 3500. I wanted to primarily run this on propane, so the fact that it had a small gas tank didn't really matter to me. And price-wise, the Predator 3500 used to be considered really inexpensive because it was competing against the Honda. But since then, Champion, Yamaha, Pulsar, Generac, there's a lot of different brands that have came out with similar generators. So the Predator 3500 isn't the cheapest game in town anymore. And this is actually quite a bit cheaper than the Predator 3500. And also, you can get this straight off Amazon, the Predator 3500, if you buy it in the store. At least when I bought mine, they kind of told me that you had to buy their extended warranty plan, otherwise they wouldn't sell you the unit. And I think that was an extra like $150 for like a 3-year extended warranty. So the Predator 3500 might seem inexpensive, but once you add all the extra fees they tack on, it's actually kind of expensive. I don't know much about the Pulsar brand aside from like it's from Canada, but just like all these units, this probably comes straight from China. But I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to see how easy it is to start. And I'll start it once more once I'm done talking. I just wanted to let it cool down for a second, but I still have the propane tank on. But I think besides that, in a later video, we'll plug stuff into this and see how much power we can draw before it shuts off. And maybe we'll do a runtime test on the gas to see how accurate that 4-hour runtime is. So one last time, let's see if it starts up easy. Let's see, the idle, low idle is off, propane run, and the gas is still on. Yeah, so it looks like other generators don't start easy on propane, but it seems like this one, maybe they engineered it differently, because once you set it to the right position, it pretty much starts on the first pull. So again, hopefully you guys like this video. If you did like this product, I'll leave a link. I just got it off Amazon. If you like this video, you can go back to my homepage, check out some of my other new videos. And if you have experience with this generator or specific questions, you can leave them in the comments down below. We'll catch you in the next video.